The Zathran Alliance's flagship, Stellar Seeker, drifted silently through the void of space, its crystalline hull reflecting the distant starlight. Admiral Vexra stood at the observation deck, her iridescent scales shifting colors as she contemplated their latest discovery. After 3 centuries of exploring the galaxy's mysteries, the Alliance had never encountered anything quite like this. Earth, the legendary cradle of humanity, had been silent for 500,000 years. The species that had once sparked both fear and wonder throughout the galaxy had vanished without explanation, leaving behind only ruins and mysteries. Or so everyone thought. Admiral, First Officer Kyleth's voice resonated through the neural interface. The quantum sensors have detected another pulse from the Sol system. It's stronger this time. Vexra's secondary eyes narrowed while her primary set remained fixed on the holographic display. The signal pattern was unlike anything in the Alliance's vast database. It wasn't random space noise or the echo of a dying star. It was a beacon, purposefully designed and impossibly preserved. "Show me the temporal analysis," she commanded. The holographic display shifted, revealing layers of data that made her breath catch. This signal, it's not 500,000 years old. It's active, current. The bridge fell silent. The implications were staggering. Something on Earth was still functioning after 500,000 years, maintaining enough power to broadcast across light years of space. The Zathran Alliance had evolved from a loose confederation of trading species into the galaxy's premier scientific coalition. Their technology was based on crystal matrices and organic computing, completely different from the mechanical and digital systems humanity had used. Perhaps that's why they were the first to detect these signals when other civilizations had dismissed Earth as a dead world. "Set course for the Sol system," Vexra ordered, "and contact the Science Council. They'll want to witness this." As the Stellar Seeker altered its trajectory, Vexra accessed the historical archives. The last recorded human activity had been during the Great Exodus, a mysterious period when human ships had suddenly departed from every colony and outpost, returning to Earth. Then, silence. No declarations of war, no signs of plague or disaster. They simply vanished. The journey to Earth took 3 weeks, even with the Alliance's advanced fold space drives. More ships joined them along the way. Research vessels, archaeological teams, and defensive escorts. By the time they entered the Sol system, their fleet numbered 27 ships. "Approaching Earth orbital space," Kyleth announced. "Preliminary scans show. This can't be right." Vexra moved to the sensor station. The planet below them was not the abandoned wasteland they expected. Instead, their instruments detected vast networks of energy signatures deep beneath the surface, all interconnected in patterns too precise to be natural. "Launch the probe drones," Vexra commanded. "Full spectrum analysis." The crystalline drones descended through Earth's atmosphere, their organic sensors processing terabytes of data every second. As they penetrated deeper into the planet's crust, they encountered the first line of defense. It happened without warning. A drone simply disappeared. Not destroyed, not damaged. It ceased to exist as if it had never been there. Then another vanished, and another. "Pull them back," Vexra ordered, but it was too late. Whatever force was protecting Earth's secrets, it was far beyond their understanding. That's when the surface began to change. What they had assumed were mountain ranges started to move, segments of the planet's crust shifting with mechanical precision. Massive structures emerged from beneath the ocean floors, each one larger than the largest Alliance city ship. "By the first light," Kyleth whispered, using an ancient prayer. They never left. Vexra understood then. Humanity hadn't vanished. They had prepared. Every disappearance, every abandoned colony, had been part of something greater. The entire planet had been transformed into a vast mechanism, its purpose still unknown. The signal that had drawn them here suddenly changed frequency. Across every ship in the fleet, every communication device and neural interface displayed the same message, translated into all known galactic languages. Verification protocol initiated. Witness species, Zathran Alliance. Analyzing technological advancement, ethical development, and cosmic understanding. Standby for evaluation. Vexera felt a shiver run through her scales. They hadn't discovered Earth. Earth had summoned them. And now, after 500,000 years, humanity's true legacy was about to be revealed. All ships, maintain position, she ordered. No defensive measures. Whatever happens next, we're about to learn why the most enigmatic species in galactic history chose to disappear. And I suspect they never intended to stay gone forever. As if in response to her words, the massive structures rising from Earth's surface began to glow with an inner light, pulsing in harmony with the original beacon signal. The evaluation had begun, and the galaxy's understanding of humanity was about to change forever. The evaluation began with a pulse of energy that rippled through space, scanning every vessel in the Zathran fleet. Admiral Vexera watched as streams of data flowed across her neural interface, too fast and complex for even the Alliance's advanced AI to process. Whatever was analyzing them operated on principles that defied their understanding of physics itself. Energy signature detected in Grid 7, reported Lieutenant Mira, her crystalline appendages flickering with nervous energy. Something's emerging from the northern polar region. The fleet watched in collective awe as a massive structure rose from beneath the ice. Unlike the other mechanisms that had emerged earlier, this one was clearly a vessel, or rather, a fleet of vessels, perfectly preserved and impossibly advanced. The ships were smooth and angular, their hulls gleaming with a material that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. Preliminary analysis suggests these vessels are constructed from metamaterials we've never encountered, Kyleth reported, his voice tight with excitement. They're not just ships, they're technological artifacts that shouldn't be possible even by our current understanding of physics. The human vessels, if they could be called that, began to arrange themselves in a precise geometric pattern around the Zathran fleet. There were thousands of them, each one different in design, but clearly part of a unified whole. They moved with perfect coordination, as if guided by a single consciousness. Admiral, Mira called out, "We're receiving a transmission. It's requesting neural interface access." Vexera hesitated for only a moment before making her decision. Granted, but maintain emergency protocols. The instant she approved the connection, Vexera's world transformed. She found herself in a virtual space that felt more real than reality itself. Before her stood a figure, not human, not alien, but something in between. It spoke, its voice resonating not through sound, but through pure understanding. "I am Guardian Protocol Alpha, the caretaker of humanity's legacy. You have been chosen to witness what follows." The virtual space expanded, showing Vexera visions of human history, not the limited accounts known to the galaxy, but the true story. She saw how humanity had discovered something profound about the nature of consciousness and reality itself. They had found a way to transcend their physical forms, but they knew the galaxy wasn't ready for such knowledge. "Our creators," Guardian Alpha explained, recognized that immediate ascension would destabilize the cosmic order. They chose instead to wait, to prepare, to guide. "Every vessel you see before you is not just a ship, it is a seed." The vision shifted, showing how these seeds had been planted throughout human space during the Great Exodus. Each one contained the sum total of human knowledge, waiting for the right moment to bloom. "But why wait 500,000 years?" Vexera asked. "Why not choose an earlier civilization to receive this legacy?" "Time was necessary," Guardian Alpha responded. "The galaxy needed to evolve naturally, to develop its own path. We monitored, we watched, we waited. The Zathran Alliance is the first civilization to achieve the necessary balance of technological advancement and ethical development." Suddenly, alarms blared across the Zathran fleet. New ships were appearing at the edge of the solar system. The Krix Dominion, ancient rivals of the Alliance. Their massive war forms cast ominous shadows against the sun. "This is unfortunate," Guardian Alpha stated, its tone unchanged. The Cricks have followed you, believing they could claim humanity's legacy for themselves. They will serve as the final test. The Cricks fleet charged forward, their weapons already charging. The Dominion had always solved problems with overwhelming force, and they saw no reason to change their approach now. Your people face a choice, Admiral Vexra. Guardian Alpha continued. The legacy of humanity is not merely technology or knowledge, it is understanding. Will you stand and fight, claiming this power for yourselves alone? Or will you demonstrate that you truly comprehend what humanity discovered? Vexra felt the weight of history upon her. The Cricks were formidable enemies, and their fleet outnumbered the Alliance vessels 3-1. The human ships remained motionless, observing, waiting for her decision. She opened a channel to the Cricks fleet. This is Admiral Vexra of the Zathran Alliance. What we have discovered here belongs to all sentient beings. We invite you to join us in receiving humanity's legacy, not as conquerors, but as equals. There was a long moment of silence. The Cricks ships continued their approach, weapons still primed. Then, something remarkable happened. The human vessels began to glow, emitting a field of energy that enveloped both fleets. In that moment, every being, Zathran and Cricks alike, shared a single vision of humanity's ultimate discovery. The first test is passed, Guardian Alpha announced. Now, we may proceed to the awakening. The surface of Earth began to transform once again, but this time, it wasn't just machinery emerging. Something far more profound was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The energy field that had enveloped both fleets dissipated, leaving behind a profound silence. The Cricks vessels had powered down their weapons, their crews still processing the vision they had shared. Admiral Vexra noticed that even their biomechanical ships seemed different somehow, as if the very material they were made from had been altered at a fundamental level. What you have witnessed, Guardian Alpha's voice resonated through all ships, is merely a fraction of what humanity discovered. The true awakening begins now. Earth's surface rippled like liquid mercury. What had appeared to be continents and oceans reformed themselves into vast geometric patterns that defied Euclidean geometry. At the center of each pattern, massive structures began to rise. Not weapons or ships, but something far more extraordinary. Their quantum computation arrays. Kylif breathed, his sensors struggling to analyze the structures, but they're operating on a scale that shouldn't be possible. They're not just processing data, they're manipulating reality itself. The Cricks' Supreme Commander, Vorthak, opened a channel to the Alliance fleet. His crystalline exoskeleton glowed with an inner light as he spoke. We have been enemies for centuries, Zathran Alliance, but what we just experienced, it changes everything. These humans, they found something beyond our petty conflicts. Vexra nodded in agreement. The shared vision had shown them all glimpses of what humanity had discovered. Consciousness itself was a fundamental force of the universe, as basic as gravity or electromagnetism. They had learned to manipulate it, to transcend the boundaries between mind and matter, energy and thought. Guardian Alpha manifested simultaneously across all ships, its form now more clearly defined. Humanity's greatest discovery was not technological, but philosophical. They realized that advancement without wisdom leads to destruction. Power without understanding leads to chaos. They chose to wait until the galaxy could comprehend not just the how of their discoveries, but the why. The quantum arrays pulsed in synchronized waves, each pulse sending ripples through space-time itself. Ancient monitoring stations, hidden throughout the galaxy for 500,000 years, began to activate. Each one contained a piece of humanity's legacy, waiting to be assembled like a cosmic puzzle. Your civilizations have been chosen, Guardian Alpha continued, not because you are perfect, but because you have the potential to learn, to grow, to understand. The Zathran's pursuit of knowledge and the Cricks' drive for perfection, both are necessary. Both are part of the greater whole. Suddenly, the arrays projected a massive holographic display, showing the entire galaxy. Countless points of light began to illuminate, revealing the true scope of humanity's preparation. They hadn't just prepared Earth, they had prepared the entire galaxy. These are the seeds, Guardian Alpha explained. Quantum-entangled nodes that humanity planted throughout space. Each contains a fragment of their consciousness, their knowledge, their understanding. They are not meant to be claimed or controlled, but to be nurtured and grown. A new signal emanated from Earth, different from anything before. It reached out to touch every conscious mind in both fleets, sharing not information but pure understanding. The barriers between species began to fade, not erasing their differences, but revealing the underlying unity beneath. Lieutenant Mira's crystalline form vibrated with excitement. Admiral, the seeds, they're not just data storage. They're doorways. Humanity found a way to exist between dimensions, to transcend the physical entirely. They've been walking between worlds this entire time. The truth of humanity's disappearance finally became clear. They hadn't vanished. They had evolved. The Great Exodus wasn't an end, but a metamorphosis. They had spread themselves across the cosmos, becoming part of the fabric of reality itself, waiting for the rest of the galaxy to catch up. Now, Guardian Alpha announced, you face your next choice. The seeds can be awakened, but doing so will fundamentally change your civilizations. You will not lose yourselves, but you will become more than you are. The transformation cannot be undone. Vexera and Vorthak shared a look across their video link, centuries of conflict dissolving in the face of this moment. Around them, the quantum arrays continued their impossible calculations, reality itself seeming to hold its breath. This is what humanity understood, Guardian Alpha said softly. Every species, every civilization, every consciousness in the galaxy is connected. They are all notes in a greater symphony. It is time for that symphony to begin its next movement. The arrays began to pulse faster, their energy building towards something unprecedented. Earth itself seemed to glow from within, as if the planet was about to reveal its final and greatest secret. The awakening had begun, but its true implications were yet to be revealed. The combined fleets of the Zafran Alliance and Krik's Dominion hovered in Earth's orbit, their crews watching in awe as the quantum arrays continued their reality-bending calculations. The seeds scattered throughout the galaxy had begun to resonate with Earth's signal, creating a vast network of quantum-entangled consciousness that spanned the cosmos. We are detecting unusual temporal phenomena, Kyleth reported, his sensors struggling to make sense of the readings. It's as if time itself is becoming fluid around us. Guardian Alpha's form shimmered across all ships, its presence now feeling more familiar, almost organic. What you are witnessing is the dissolution of the barriers humanity transcended. Time, space, consciousness, they are all expressions of the same underlying reality. The arrays suddenly projected a new image, but this time it wasn't just a map of the galaxy. It was a visualization of reality itself, showing how consciousness flowed through dimensions beyond normal spacetime. The crews of both fleets could see how their own awareness was connected to this greater whole, like drops of water in an infinite ocean. Vorthak, the Krik's supreme commander, moved closer to his view screen. These patterns, they match our oldest prophecies, the great unity our ancestors spoke of. This is what they glimpsed. Your ancestors were wise, Guardian Alpha confirmed. Many species throughout history have touched the edges of this truth. Humanity simply found a way to embrace it fully. But they knew that sharing this discovery prematurely would be catastrophic. The quantum arrays began to synchronize in a new pattern, their energy forming bridges between dimensions. Through these bridges, the assembled aliens caught glimpses of where humanity had gone, or rather, what they had become. They existed now as patterns of pure consciousness, able to move freely through all layers of reality. Admiral Vexera's scales shifted through colors of wonder and revelation. They didn't just transcend their physical forms, They transcended the very concept of existence as we understand it. The seeds throughout the galaxy pulsed in harmony, each one revealing more of humanity's journey. They had spent 500,000 years not in hiding, but in preparation. They had been slowly reshaping the very fabric of space-time, creating pathways for other species to follow when they were ready. Your civilizations stand at a crossroads, Guardian Alpha announced. The seeds can be awakened fully, but doing so will initiate a transformation beyond anything you have imagined. You will retain your individuality, your cultures, your unique perspectives, but you will also become part of something greater. Lieutenant Mira's crystalline form resonated with the quantum frequencies. Admiral, I'm detecting changes in our own technology. The arrays, they're not just showing us the way, they're actively changing the fundamental properties of matter around us. She was right. The crystalline technology of the Zephyrin ships and the biomechanical systems of the Crix vessels were beginning to evolve, becoming something that bridged the gap between organic and synthetic, between consciousness and reality itself. This was humanity's greatest achievement, Guardian Alpha explained. They discovered that consciousness itself is the foundation of all reality. Technology, biology, physics, these are all expressions of the same underlying force. They learned to shape this force, to become one with it, and they prepared the way for others to follow. The array's energy reached a new peak, and suddenly every being in both fleets could sense the truth. Humanity hadn't died or disappeared. They had become gardeners of consciousness itself. The seeds they had planted were growing, preparing to bloom into something beyond imagination. Look, Vorthak whispered, pointing to the space between the arrays. Reality itself seemed to be folding, creating windows into other dimensions. Through these windows, they could see shapes moving, not physical forms, but patterns of pure consciousness that they somehow recognized as human. They're returning, Vexura realized, not as they were, but as they are now. We're about to witness. She trailed off as the arrays began their final sequence. Earth's surface transformed completely, the entire planet becoming a vast interdimensional nexus. The moment humanity had spent 500,000 years preparing for it arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Guardian Alpha's form began to change, becoming more complex, more real. The legacy of humanity is not a gift to be given, but a truth to be shared. The final protocol is about to begin, and with it, the true purpose of all this preparation will be revealed. The arrays pulsed one final time, and reality itself held its breath, waiting for what would come next. The quantum arrays reached their final configuration, their energy weaving impossible patterns through space-time. Earth, once a simple cradle of human civilization, had transformed into something that defied comprehension, a nexus point between dimensions, a bridge between states of existence. Guardian Alpha's form began to multiply, splitting into countless iterations, each one slightly different, as if demonstrating the infinite possibilities of consciousness itself. When it spoke, its voice resonated through every level of reality the assembled fleets could perceive. What you are about to witness is not an ending, but a convergence. Humanity's legacy is not merely knowledge or technology. It is the key to the next stage of cosmic evolution. The seeds scattered throughout the galaxy activated simultaneously, creating a vast network of quantum consciousness that encompassed billions of stars. Through this network, every being in both fleets could sense the presence of countless other civilizations, all connected, all part of the greater whole. "Sir," Kyleth called out, his voice filled with wonder, "the arrays, they're not just processing information. They're rewriting the fundamental laws of reality in this region of space." He was right. The very fabric of space-time around Earth was changing, becoming more fluid, more responsive to consciousness itself. The barriers between thought and reality, between mind and matter, were dissolving. Suddenly, the space between the arrays began to ripple, and something emerged. Not ships or beings in any conventional sense, but patterns of pure consciousness taking form. They were human, yet transformed beyond anything their ancestors could have imagined. They existed simultaneously across multiple dimensions, their thoughts capable of reshaping reality itself. Supreme Commander Vorthak's crystalline exoskeleton resonated with the energy. "These are the architects," he whispered, "the ones who planted the seeds." The transformed humans, the architects, began to communicate, not through words or signals, but through direct transmission of understanding. They shared visions of what they had discovered in their half-million-year journey. The universe was not just alive, it was conscious. Every particle, every force, every dimension was part of a vast, cosmic intelligence slowly awakening to itself. Humanity's disappearance, Guardian Alpha explained, was the first step in a greater metamorphosis. They became the catalysts for this awakening, preparing the way for all conscious beings to join in the universal symphony. Admiral Vexra watched as her own crystalline technology began to evolve, becoming something that bridged the gap between organic and synthetic, between matter and consciousness. The same was happening to the Krix ships, their biomechanical systems transforming into something that defied classification. "The choice before you now," the architects communicated, their thoughts manifesting as pure understanding in every mind, "is whether to join us in this evolution. We have prepared the way, created the pathways, but each species must choose to take this step freely." Lieutenant Mira's sensors detected something unprecedented. "Admiral, the arrays, they're not just affecting our local space. The changes are propagating throughout the galaxy. Every seed is becoming a nexus point, a potential gateway for transformation." The truth of humanity's grand design became clear. They hadn't just transcended their physical forms. They had spent 500,000 years preparing the entire galaxy for a cosmic metamorphosis. The seeds were not mere repositories of knowledge. They were catalysts for evolution on a universal scale. Vexra and Vorthak shared a look across their command links, centuries of conflict forgotten in the face of this revelation. Their species had been chosen not just for their technological advancement, but for their potential to understand and embrace this new reality. "We accept." They spoke in unison, their words echoing across dimensions. The arrays pulsed one final time, and reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, like a flower blooming in infinite dimensions, the transformation began. The combined fleets, the arrays, Earth itself, all became part of something greater, something that transcended the very concepts of space and time. Guardian Alpha's form merged with the architects, revealing its true nature as part of humanity's distributed consciousness. The return protocol is complete. The metamorphosis begins. Welcome to the next chapter of cosmic evolution. As the transformation spread outward from Earth, carried by the network of seeds, the galaxy itself began to change, not through destruction or conquest, but through transcendence and unity. Humanity's legacy was not an end, but a beginning. The dawn of a new age where consciousness itself would shape the destiny of the cosmos. The story of humanity hadn't ended with their disappearance 500,000 years ago. It had merely moved to a new chapter, one that would now include all sentient beings ready to take the next step in their evolutionary journey. The stars themselves seemed to pulse with new life, as the greatest adventure in the history of consciousness began.